Christmas is one of the biggest shopping seasons of the year, and one of the best sellers on Etsy right now, personalized mugs. They're affordable, thoughtful, and people buy them by the thousands. In this video, I'm going to show you how I use AI and MyDesigns to create, personalize, and sell mugs step by step so that you can copy the process for yourself. Let's get started. We're now over on MyDesigns, and you can actually create an account for free if you don't have one. Once you get logged in, navigate to the Listings tab where I'm located. From here, we need to create a collection, or rather a folder that we can store our designs in. And you can do that by going next to Listing, selecting the Home button here, clicking Add Folder, and then Add New Folder. As you can see, I'm already in one called Personalized Christmas Mugs. So once you get in the collection, all we need to do is start creating some graphics that we want to use for our mugs. So I'm going to go under Create here and select Dream AI. Now we do have a bunch of different models that you can choose from to generate your graphics with. I'm choosing to use Nano Banana as I think it does a really good job. The mode is going to be text to image, as that's what we're just inputting a text here in this prompt field, and then it's generating an image from that. You can generate change the amount of images you're generating here and change the aspect ratio you're generating them in as well. But I did play around with this ahead of time to kind of just save some time on the video, but I will show you the prompt I use, and I'll also leave it in the description of this video. But here's the prompt. We'll go ahead and just click Dream again to see what we get, but it's going to give us some similar results as these ones we have here. But once yours finishes dreaming and you find something you want to use, all we really need to do is go select that image, and I think I'm going to use this one here. So we're going to just select it, and then we're going to click Save to Listings. Now right here, we're actually going to remove the background, and we're going to use the MD1 model to do that. We're also going to upscale the image here just to increase the quality. And then this should automatically be mapped for you if you were in your collection before you clicked Dream AI. So all we need to do here is click Save to Listings, Yes, Store Images, and then we'll jump over to the Listings tab and get to work there. So as you can see, we now have our image ready to go. The background is removed, it's upscaled to a higher quality, so now we just need to create our print file. So from here, all we need to do is select the listing. We're then going to go to our Canvas system here, then templates, and we're going to search mug here. I'm going to select this white mug 11 ounce, but we're also going to be selling the 15 ounce mug on the same listing. But I'm going to select this. We're going to then select Swift POD as our print partner, and then the template they provide. Now we're going to go to the top right corner, and I'm going to select Add Listing File, and we're just going to add that same file we just generated with AI. Now, we also need to add this to both sides of this template, as this is a wraparound mug. So we want the design to be on both sides of that mug. So that means we need one here and one over here as well. But we're going to just create the full graphic first, and then we'll copy and paste the entire thing to the other side. So first of all, let's just situate this a bit. Now we need to get some text added. So I'm going to go to Rich Text and click Add Text. I'll move this up above, and we're just going to extend this out just a little bit. And for this example, we're kind of going to just do something that's like a funny mug that people will buy that's also personalized. So from here, I'm going to say Holiday Spirit, and then we're going to copy and paste this and move one to below, and we're going to just say loading with a few dots like that. So this is essentially the loading bar. That's the graphic we generated. And then this is the text that we're going to include in it. But we're also going to update that font to look a little bit more Christmas-like. So I'm actually going to use a font called Christmas. I'll go ahead and select that, and then we'll just change the other one to match that as well. So you could sell this just as is, but we want to add some personalization to it to get that emotional appeal to the buyers. So you can really say, you know, mom's holiday spirit loading, dad's holiday spirit loading, or you could do a specific name. You can do anything like that. So for this example, let's just go ahead and copy and paste this text box one more time. And then we'll just use the name, like say Anne's holiday spirit loading. And then we can also adjust this a bit to make sure everything's more centered and looks good together. And I think that looks great now. It's all matched up, but let's go ahead and increase the font size a bit. So I'm going to just maybe go up to 126 for all of these. And then we'll just make some small adjustments again. We'll move this down a little bit, make sure it's kind of centered on this part of the mug. But I think it would be kind of fun as well to move the name up so that it's a little bit more separated. And then maybe to add a gradient to this so that it matches the Christmas colors. Now, like I said, you can really do whatever you want here. I will show you how you can add a gradient if you'd like. We're just going to select the color, go gradient. And you can see it's already kind of got a red-green gradient, but I want to add a few more points in here. And then just kind of make sure that they're spaced out in an even fashion. Now, I do want to change the color down here on these other dots as well, though, to be more of a red color. So we're just going to select this color dropper, and then we'll go select off of this bar so that it kind of matches as well the colors we already got going on. And I want to do the same thing with the green color here. So we'll go select more of this Christmas green color, and then we'll do it for both of these other colors as well. So I think that looks kind of good. Obviously, you can make any changes. You can do whatever you want here. But once you get this set up exactly how you want it, then all we have to do at this point is just highlight it all. We're going to copy it and then paste it again. And then we're going to move that to this other side. And we're going to make sure that it lines up with the other one perfectly. So I like to leave just a little bit of space between the edge there, so you can see that looks about perfect. So we'll just make sure that this entire thing is set up the exact same way, and it looks like it is about right there. So now we have our print file all done. Once we have these changes how we would like them, all we have to do is click Save. Now this is really, really important. You need to save as editable if you're doing a personalized design. What this will allow us to do when we save this as editable is come in and change those names without having to create an entirely new print file. We're also going to change the output file slot here to just overwrite that main file, as we don't need that loading bar anymore. So we're going to just save it there. Yes, overwrite all files, and then we'll go ahead and get to the next step. And now that we have our print file ready to go, the next step is to get some data and some mock-ups so that we're ready to publish this. But we can actually just do that all during the publishing process with MyDesigns. So at this point, we're just going to select the listing, go to the top right corner and select Publish. We're going to load a profile. So I'm going to go under Public Profiles, under Load, select Public Profiles, and then I'm going to search mug here. So you can see here's the white 11 ounce and 15 ounce mugs profile. I'm going to just select Load Profile. And now at this point, we can add some mock-ups. You can see this profile already is including a few, and it's showing also the different sized mugs. I do think those mugs look fantastic, those mock-ups do, but I do think we need a Christmas mock-up as well. So I'm going to go down to the bottom here and select Add Mock-up. And then I'm going to select this Christmas version one over here, and then just select the white color. And then I'm going to go to our other product here, the 15 ounce mug. I'm going to select that, add mockup, and do the exact same thing with that one. This one did have two 11 ounce white mugs on the profile. We don't need two, obviously, so I'm just going to exit out on that one. And then you can see we're just selling one of each. Now, we did set up our print file to be used for the 11 ounce mug, not the 15 ounce mug. And they're not going to be that different. As you can see, the dimensions are here and then here, but we need to make sure just to check our print file so that it does print in the right way. So you could do that right here by just selecting Canvas. And then you can see this is the taller mug. So there's a lot more space at the bottom here than the top. So we just want to kind of even that out. So I'm just going to bump it down a little bit and then click Save. Now you'll see those mock-ups for that specific one are reloading because we made adjustments to the image. But now you can see that looks much better than it did before. It looks way more centered on that mug. Now, the mock-ups are going to appear on your Etsy listing in the order that they show here. So I'm going to just move these how I want them to be. I think this holiday one needs to be the primary. And then we'll go with the smaller mugs as the next few. And then we'll do the same thing with the bigger mugs in a row. Now that we have all our mock-ups though, we can go to the next step, which is populate data. At this point, this is where we input our data, but we have a really cool feature here called Vision AI. We can do that right here in the publishing process by just clicking here. What Vision AI is trained on best-selling Etsy data, and it scans your image and then generates data based on that. So the input file slot is essentially the file the AI is scanning. We're going to change the product type here to mug. We're going to just leave these as they are. We do have a fewer different models, or we're actually going to change this to the recommended model. We're going to generate product features for the 11 ounce and 15 ounce mug, which is already selected because that's the products we're selling. You can also add custom instructions. I find the AI does a better job if you include a little more detail. So I'm going to select that, and we're just going to say something like, this is a personalized Christmas name mug. Please include this in the data. Now, I don't know what this is going to give us, but I'm going to click Generate Data and yes, run Vision AI. That should take a few seconds and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, it took about 5 seconds to generate. And as you can see, I think it's really, really good that it says personalized Christmas mug, and it got that even though we have the actual name here. So I think it did a really good job. Obviously, what I always tell people is Vision AI will get you about 85 to 90% of the way there, but you want to make sure that you go through, update some keywords, add some keywords, just make sure everything looks good. Don't just entirely trust it to do everything for you. But once you get the data done, we can go to the next step, click Choose Prices. Now this is already done for us. It was part of the profile. If you have a specific strategy you'd like to use on pricing, you can update everything here by just changing that and then applying to all. If you're working with multiple listings at once, we're only working with one, but you can move over to see the other ones by clicking those arrows. So we'll go to the next step, which is Preview Publish Info. This just gives us one last look at our listing before we publish it. If we are working with multiple shops or stores, we can publish to different ones by selecting the drop-down arrow there. You can see the categories already updated to mugs because this is once again part of a publishing profile. All we need to do at this point is go to the bottom here. We're going to select personalization. This is because this is we're selling this as a personalized mug. So this is where we're going to put the instructions that our buyer is going to input. So we'll just say something along the lines of, please include the name you want on the mug. You can really put whatever you want there. If I was actually selling this, I may word it a little bit differently. Also give them the idea that they could say mom, dad, anything they want. It doesn't necessarily have to be a name. But to save time, we're going to go ahead and click Publish. And then I will jump over to our Etsy shop and we'll take a look at the listing there. All right, once you're on your Etsy shop, just navigate to your Listings tab. From here, we're going to go over to our draft folder. Everything that's published through MyDesigns will always go to your draft folder, as you have to pay that 20-cent listing fee. But as you can see, here is our mug listing. All we would have to do at this point is select this listing, click Publish, pay that 20-cent listing fee after we click Publish again, and then it's live on our Etsy shop. So if you want to sell personalized Christmas mugs this Q4, MyDesigns makes it really simple. From AI designs to Etsy listings, it's all in one platform. So sign up for free today and start selling.